Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at StepPolyArp by Laurent Colin. It's been out for a long time, StepPolyArp, but it's just had a massive, huge update. So you can run this in standalone and it has its own kind of built-in sound set. But more practically, you would want to use it as an AUV3 and you would see it will sit in the Midi effects slot before the app you want to use. Now, the easiest way to show you this and what it does is to use the studio piano. You can use any instrument you like. Like if I turn StepPolyArp off, so lovely basic piano sound. I've got Come Back Kid by Baby Audio to put in a bit later. Right, okie dokie, let's switch StepPolyArp on and go and have a look. This is a default preset, so you can load presets here. And there's lots of different types of presets and stuff, or you can just go new and it will reset it to this. So this will be the default. You have control lane down here at the bottom for velocity, modulation, pan, volume, aftertouch, pitch bend. And then you can also have multiple patterns that you can copy and paste and play in order, etc. We're going to go through all of this stuff, right? So hopefully by the end of the video, you will know how StepPolyArp works. Right, okay, so you've got an arpeggiator and you've got a sequencer. If I press play on a transport now, that's the sequencer. If we go to ARP, it will stop because the arpeggiator requires MIDI input. So I'm just playing on my MIDI keyboard now, right? I'm just playing a D major. And you'll see that this here is the order of that arpeggiator, but we don't need to worry too much about that because we can do all this stuff just with the sequencer. So I'm going to go back to sequencer where it will just play. And then we'll move along and explain exactly what everything does. Okay, so it's very, very, very cool. It's really great stuff. So first of all, you see we have our speed. So we can slow that down, set to dotted or triplet. Let's leave it on 1/8. Then we have our gate, which gates the note. Every single step can have its own gate. Okay, so I'll get into that as well. There's loads of new stuff been added. Custom scales, gate by event, velocity by event. Here's the groove. Now, if I play with any of these now, nothing is going to happen. Okay, we need to have it playing multiple pitches. If I switch octaves, okay, if I have 3 octaves, this works the same for the arpeggiator, these controls, right? So it's going up, down, up and down, up, hold 2 notes at the top, that's like down and up. So down and up, hold 2 notes at the bottom. Random, and this will play a chord. Well, it's playing it polyphonically, so it'll play all these 3 notes together. Okay, let's just stick with that for a moment, right? So let's look at our velocity. Okay, so this is very cool. We can control over the entire length here. Okay, then we have modulation right now. So you can assign modulation to anything you like. If we click on this little thing here, you'll see that at the moment it's set at 001 modulation, which is the mod wheel, but you can set it to other stuff as well. As you can see, there is a lot of stuff you can assign to the modulation lane. So if I push the mod wheel up, right, let's just stop this a sec. If I switch StepPolyArp off and I push the mod wheel up on my controller, you'll see it's adding vibrato. So with that in mind, let's switch StepPolyArp back on and let's look at the modulation. So let's bring up some modulation. Okay. We can have it all set to max. Or we can just reset it all to 0, and then you can turn it off. So you'll see a lot of these lines, for example, might be switched off. As soon as you touch anywhere here in the grid, it'll turn it on, or you can just turn it on here, for example. So now we have pan, and we've got it assigned to pan, but you can have it assigned to anything else, look. So let's do this. Let's pan some of these around. Awesome stuff. We can go complete right, just left, or center. Okay. Let's increase this to 4. Let's mess around with the groove a bit. Okie dokie. Now, at the moment, you'll see it's C major. Let's change it to maybe pure minor. Right, you can, these are the degrees of the scale in semitones, okay? So you can't go out of your scale. So we're in C pure minor. Let's have a look at some of these controls here. So we open this now, and this is your grid edit. So we could say, well, all steps are already filled. We could say fill every 2 steps, every 4 steps. We can make it blank. If we choose mono and keep clicking, it will just randomize notes on that line. But now if we say, okay, well, let's go poly, what it will do is it will generate a sequence across the entire grid. And don't forget, these are degrees of the scale. So let's put a few more in. Let's draw one on. And then we could say, right, okay, well, let's. But you've got custom scales as well now, so you can just make your own custom scale. So if you didn't want that E in there, and you wanted G and this instead of the A. So that's cool. Now you can also, let's change this to 1/16 so it's a bit quicker. You can change the length of each of these individually to get polyrhythm style stuff going on. Okay, so if we just go. Okay, now you'll see, I'm going to actually leave that open in case I need to control the volume of my piano. You see this button here? This will allow you to set the length of all of them to be the same. So if I switch this little chain link on, then tap on any of these. And then you can also go in and tap on one of these and choose the tuning. Let's put some in here. That'll be the same as this one. Drag it up and down. Let's move these out a little bit. Awesome stuff, eh? That's global gate. But if you tap on any individual event, you've got controls for all of those as well. I'm going to explain what all these do in just a sec. But for this one event, we could say, well, let's have a random pitch probability of 5 semitones. Random gate, just for this. Random velocity. We can have it ratchet. Don't forget we're on random pitch. We can set which cycle this is going to play on. So let's say we don't want it to play on cycle 2 or 3. Didn't play. Didn't play. Will play. Will play. The controller's it's off its head. Now if I close this event and I double tap this to reset it, I'm going to draw a long one in now. I'm going to tap on that one event and let's look at the note divide. So we can have it velocity ramp. We can have a velocity curve go down. Okay, you can also have it accelerate. Decelerate. Okay, I am going to go with new. Make a few adjustments to maybe the velocity. The groove. The speed. And I'm going to take all of these down to these 4. Tap on one of these. I am going to set the octaves to 3. Tap on one event. So we've got random gate, random pitch, random velocity, note, repeat, gate event, event gate. So you can see it moving here like this. Event velocity. You can hear it. Okay. Order. This. Now we'll play this. And then it will jump back. Let's leave this one on now. Close. Let's go to another event. Let's look at this one, which will jump back to the beginning. Let's make this one another equals. And this will all apply to your ARP as well if you want. Let's go to this one and go to last. Take that out. And this will play the second. Note that's playing, and this will play the first. And it'll change when and then we can extend and it'll just goes back into like playing the 4 octaves. So you've got so much control over various aspects of each individual event. It's just it's crazy cool. Let's choose random pitches now for some of these. and they will stay within the range of the scale, which is custom at the moment. So let's reset this to minor. If we switch comeback kid on now, I'm going to turn the microphone down because Watson's barking. I'm going to play around with the delay. And now I'm just going to start throwing in random notes around the grid. We can go minus 36 and plus 36. Pitch bend. Let's randomize the panning. So you're seeing how powerful this is. So this control here controls this stuff here on the modulation lanes. You can choose different colors for pretty much everything. So you could say, well, we haven't done any modulation. Let's do a little bit, hey? Excellent. And if this piano had aftertouch, we could add the aftertouch as well. So let's go to panning and maybe set a different color for the panning. It's just all to help you visualize where you are. We can randomize all this stuff as well, by the way. Like, we're not using aftertouch, so if I just randomized it, you know. What the cool thing also is, right, if you tap on any of these, you can also send the MIDI out to individual channels. Now, I'm going to do another video on this where I show you how to set this up in AUM, sending out to all sorts of different synths and stuff, and it's great for drums and things like that. Because you'll notice here it says relative, absolute, and scaled. At the moment, this is following its the scale here, but you can have it set to be a custom scale with what you set. So relative now is relative pitches and semitones to the C minor. It's all going to fit in. If you put absolute in, you'll see now that this changes to an E7, and you can set any note that you want here for any particular line, which is handy if you're using something like FAC drum kit. You could have, say, 3 or 4 of these sending out to different drums on MIDI drum kit, because it FAC drum kit, because I think it works on C2, C sharp 2, D2. You know, it works chromatically, and you can set it up like that, or you can just have it set on relative, as we're looking at this here. Like I said, you can just, like, look, we can go every 2, and it'll fill every 2 steps on that particular line. Clock divisions, right, watch. It's another one of the new features. This is going along at 1/8, right? So if we tap on the actual line, so you can edit lines, events, and then you have your kind of grid edit here as well. Down here we'll look at in just a sec, but this is global. Latching works when you've got the ARP going. So look, let's tap on this. Let's speed this up. Tap on this and clock division for each individual line, right? So you'll see now. Actually, let me just. See, it's running slower this. Let's slow this one down. Half speed. Let's look at this one now. Slow it down by 4. See, these are all running differently now. This one, let's set this really slow, and it's going to be polyrhythmic. These are all still running fast, so maybe let's fill in. And we can randomize the pitch of each of these on a per line basis, as I showed you before. It's awesome. So you can come up with some absolutely beautiful patterns that can just run a completely different speed. Each line is independent of itself. And then you have, if we look at the actual pair steps, you have loads and loads of control, a chance to play this even. Look, so let's make this really obvious and set that. Let's get rid of that one. You can hear that now. In fact, let's make this really ratchety. Okay, and let's just change the chance to play. Didn't play then. Didn't play then. So there's a 50% chance this is going to play. There you go. Any event you can choose. Awesome stuff. how powerful the StepPolyArp is. Let's look at the global randomization stuff. So I'll stop this. I'll reset this to just a new one, and let's open this. So open this little dice here. Now we can choose to randomize what lines. So of the 11 available lines, what we randomize, and if we didn't want to randomize whatever it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, line 6 here, we just take line 6 out. You can choose to keep existing events and just randomize everything else. Let's go mad. Let's randomize everything. So scroll up and just hit randomize, and this is your general randomization options. Okay, so if we increase the length randomization, switch gate randomization on there, we can maybe decrease that a little bit. Chance, 50 to 100. Well, let's have it a bit higher than that. Let's have it 69% to 100% chance on the individual events, yeah? Velocity, we can choose to randomize between full range and maybe 70. The order randomization, we can choose to randomize the note repeats. The relative tuning, so we've got, like I said, the relative tuning goes all the way up to 36 and all the way down to 36, but that might be a bit extreme. But if we set maybe 20, 25, 24 here, and maybe plus a little bit more than 12, say 15 semitones up. Don't forget, it's all going to be relative. This is the relative tuning. This is your absolute tuning if you're using absolute, whether it's scaled, whether it stays in scale, and then the clock division, which is the speed. So just let's initially randomize this one, see what it's given us. Nice. So reducing the velocity is obviously going to reduce the randomization volumes. And I'm going to keep that scaled. Let's change this to say deep to neutral and hours of fun here. Now, for instance, we have close. You have this button here. This will reset all the lines. See, which is handy if you've kind of got stuff running. Let's switch this off and set all these kind of different lengths and let's get a bit polyrhythmic going on here. But you see, they're all running it. We can even do it with this one as well, by the way. We can reset this line. But you'll see, if we hit this now, they'll all reset until they start to go off grid again, of course. Very cool. Okay, you get the general idea. So what I'm going to do is also, as well, before I go, I am going to add in a vintage electric piano track here. Here we go. And I'm going to add in a StepPolyArp. I don't have recents on this, do I? So I'm just going to search for, in my Midi effects, StepPolyArp. There it is. And run it with this. So I'm going to mute this one. Let's set this up. Right. So if we open it up, you'll see it's on ARP. It defaults ARP. So I'm going to put it onto sequence. And I'm going to show you some of the actual presets it comes with. So it comes with a bunch of presets. It comes with a bunch of presets as well. In fact, the modulation on this, I think, is tremolo. Let's see. Yeah. Sounds quite nice. Let's look at the velocity. Set the velocity a little bit differently. Okay, so of course this is going to change, but I'm going to show you some presets. So let's give it some. Actually, let's just have a look what's going on. Bit of a boost in volume there. Bit of chorus. Maybe a touch of bit of chroma verb. Actually, instead of chroma verb, let's add a bit of the new Quantec. Okay, all this is just for fun, but I'm going to run through a few presets. So if you open presets here, you've got sequences as well, so don't worry. So I'm going to turn the microphone down. Guys, if you've watched this video premiere, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. StepPolyArp is great. I'll put a link in. I will be doing another video showing you multi-out, but I'll do that in AUM because it's easier to set up and it's very quick in that. And it's very powerful when you start to have each of these different lines control different instruments. It's much fun. The current price, I think, is where are we at now? To go back up to the top of the screen, $19.99. So not too bad for what you get. Anyway, top job. I'm going to run through loads of these presets for you on this particular sound. And thank you for watching. If you like it, strike the like, subscribe, consider becoming a patron, and all that cool stuff. And if you can find it in your heart to make a super chat or a super thanks, that's even better. Thank you very, very much. See you guys later. Ta-ra. You can also save your own as well. I did forget to mention patterns. Patterns is very easy. Let's look at this for example. Say I like this pattern. I am going to copy that. We can close it now and long hold on that one. Oops. And paste this pattern in. So this is pattern 2, and we can make some adjustments and then go back to pattern 1. See? But you can also set this stuff up so that it changes to the next pattern and how long it takes to change to the next pattern, for example. And then you can set colors for different patterns as well, as you can for each individual event. You could set, say, a color just for this particular event. Okay, let's look at some patterns. So this was a basic one, kind of a awesome, eh? Cool use of polymeters here. Very, very, very cool. So many presets.